Right everyone, welcome to episode 3 of season 2 of the Self-Employed Estate Agency playlist. This season is all about the partners. I'm delighted to be joined by Dan Salisbury, who is one half of Dan and Neil Estate Agents, and dare I say, nominations as well for Best Estate Agency regionally, which is quite exciting with the Neg Awards.
So exciting, isn't it? Me and Neil were saying we used to see those awards, people going to them and as a company in our old places, and something we would never even get invited to go to, let alone now we're actually nominated and shortlisted for it. It's epic.
We're recording before the event, but obviously if you guys win it, we'll change it in the show notes. We can't change the video, but we'll change it in the show notes to say, actually, correction, winners, which would be really cool.
That'd be quality, yeah.
So first question I'm asking everyone is I want to know why. I want to know why for you took that kind of career and financial risk to become self-employed, really. So if you think back almost 4 years ago, what was the big reason you personally went, do you know what, I need to start my own thing?
So I remember exactly the moment that it tweaked. So for me, for a long time, I was a little bit lost, if that makes sense, in the industry. So I was still performing and doing what I needed to do, but I was just going through the motions. I'd lost the passion for what I was doing. Felt a bit disillusioned. And I didn't really know if I wanted to continue to be an estate agent. But I remember went into lockdown and I was sat on my windowsill because I was furloughed, not really knowing what was going on. And I actually started working another job at the time just to keep money coming in because I didn't really know how I was going to be paid. And I saw something on post and it gave me the opportunity to think, actually, this is something that I feel would work. And it was that second that I made that decision. That was the decision made. And it was
on the windowsill.
On the windowsill.
Yeah.
Obviously, we followed up with conversations afterwards and everything else. But it was, for me, I wanted to do something I could see that I could offer so much more, that I was almost caged. I wasn't allowed to do what I felt was right. And I lost love for it, where this gave me the opportunity to go, well, if I really believe in myself and I can do what I think I can do, let's make the jump. And it was scary, risk, don't know what's going to happen, like everything. But the best thing I did.
I think a lot of estate agents, I've seen it, in the sort of 20 odd years that I've been doing it, I've found a lot of estate agents get to about 7 or 8 years to 10. Something happens in that 2 or 3 year window where people have built the career, they've become successful, they're earning relatively good money, but they sort of lose the passion, lose the love for it. I went through the same thing. I speak to a lot of people that do. And it's a shame a lot of people exit the industry at that point. They'd go IT recruitment or try and do something totally different.
Yeah, I think far too many of the really good people do leave the industry to go and do something else. It's a shame because, you want them to stay within what we do, right? And give people amazing service. And I think they're probably lost as well. I mean, for me, I was looking at call it the corporate way. I didn't want to necessarily just go and be a branch manager. I was good at what I did. I mean, and that was my next natural progression. And then if I wanted to push on from there, it's area manager and everything else. But I didn't see those options or routes within the company because it was the same people having the same jobs for such a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't really see my route through to do any of that.
Yeah.
But also didn't see the guidance or support to how to get there. And equally, I think the industry's got it wrong where if you're a good sales negotiator and then you're a good valuer, doesn't mean you're going to be good at running a team of 5 people, actually. But then you put them in that job, they don't perform, they lose their interest for it, and you lose them as good people out the industry. We're bloody good at looking after people, good at client services, good at all those parts. But the natural progression is just that so linear. It doesn't fit everybody.
Yeah.
Where I think this gives you the opportunity to be just good at what you like to do and show those passions to people, and that's what matters. People don't need you to manage a team of people.
Yeah, be a good estate agent.
Just be a good agent.
Yeah. I think it's a great point because it's very different roles. Being an estate agent and being a manager, any managerial role is totally different because of how estate agency is. It is a great point. It's probably a big reason why people kind of fall out of love. Some people are great managers. They were born to be managers. They might not be the best estate agents, but they were born to run a team, be organised. Some people are born to be agents and do that. And I think that's the great thing of having that opportunity to go, right, actually, I really want to be a manager, sit in the office and be the puppet master and the firefighter. Or actually, I just really like being on the road, talking to people, negotiating, dealing with the public. 2 different types of people.
Absolutely.
What would you say has been the hardest moment and the most surprising, like difficult moment that you can think back to?
So with the actual doing what we do, I think we've been quite fortunate. We haven't had any major wobbles or worries in that respect since we've been up and running. Where our wobbles came in, and mine did, was a period between meeting you and saying we were going to go for it, and then that focal point in the distance of that's when it's going to happen.
Okay.
So for me, that's where the wobble came in rather than actually doing it. So that's where it affected
Like before the launch, you
Before
were
the
second
launch.
guessing, are we going to do this? Should I do it? Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going up and down. One week I was like, right, I'm going to do this. And then suddenly, like, nerves would kick in. You'd be like, oh, I haven't got the support. Is it going to work? Or we haven't got any business coming in. What are we going to do? And then you just go on this emotional roller coaster. And there could have been times where we would just go, no, that's not going to do it. But the good thing is with me and Neil together, the week that I was up, he was down a bit. And the week that he was up, I was down. So we sort of managed it.
Yeah.
But that wobble was just a roller coaster up to the point of launching. But I think it was more nerves and excitement all rolled into one, because the second we did it, it was just amazing and all go. And you put all your effort in and you get it out afterwards. So, that was my bit beforehand, because you're not going to earn, what we were thinking was to start, you're not going to earn money for, I don't know, from when you stop maybe 3-4 months.
You got no idea, have you?
You've got no idea. You don't know, what if you don't sell anything for a month, then it's another 4 months, 5 months till you earn money and start seeing your pipeline roll in. How long can we go for without that happening? You put that pressure on yourself to make it happen. So that's why those wobbles are there, because, I'm paying for a mortgage and other bills, and you're going, how is this going to work? But equally, we're like, well, if I don't make this jump now and try it, and if it doesn't work, I'm pretty sure I can go get a job being an agent somewhere, earning probably more money on a guarantee for a bit. So I was like, let's do the jump, mate, and it's, never look back. So
it's a great point, because I think people panic before launch, before going all in, often before they hand their notice in. It's that moment of no, should I do this, should I not? And they're kind of right on the fence with it. So it's a great point to kind of say, almost push through that challenge and that concern, because better is on the other side, effectively.
Yeah, I think you've got to persevere and make sure you do it, because if I was to go and be an agent for another company, the grass isn't greener, because it's exactly the same. Everyone's doing the same thing in the
as
same
employed,
role.
you mean?
As employed. Yeah, sorry. So if you jump from one employed to another employed, I'm going to be in an office in a similar environment, probably people I've met before doing the same job, and you'll very quickly go back to where you were with that other company. The main thing that drove us was, no, we're going to be working for ourselves with people we enjoy to work with as well. That we can see a vision, and because you're doing it for yourself, it's completely different to working underneath somebody else in an office. So it's a drastic change in a positive way.
And on the flip to that, is there like been a single moment where you're like, yes, like just ultimate like enjoyment, elation, relief, just like, or like, right, we've actually done this, we've cracked it?
There was, the first one was our first exchange.
Always a big one.
Which was amazing. And to be fair, so Neil had an amazing listing which we worked on. We actually become friends with their name's Barbara. We sold 4 houses for her now. And that was a big house. So it was a really good pay slip to come in, or good banking to come in. So that was just a moment to go, oh, okay, bit of relief. And then we looked and went, well, actually, we've got a pipeline now of 40,000. So it was, for us, then it was building on top of that. So we've always had moments where we've gone, take stock, that's what we've reached. And things like the pipeline and then earning money, we've said we never want it to drop below X amount, then X amount as it builds up. So those are also little milestones we set ourselves. So they're always like little relief moments, because you can see that's coming in. But that first exchange was mega. It was just such a nice feeling. And proud because it had happened. And I suppose the other big one personally was when we realised that point where we did a total of the million. I mean,
£1 million worth of
it still blows
business.
my mind now that was actually even possible,
in the time frame.
In the time frame. I think once we got going, we knew at some point we'd
do it.
These numbers, but to hit it when we did, was just incredible.
What was it? 2 years and
about 2.5 years.
2.5 years, yeah.
And we looked, and obviously you presented us with the plaques, and
Two Comma Club.
The 2 Comma Club, and it had every single house that we'd listed and sold that equated to that. And there's just so many people that you've helped move, and it's a bit emotional. You go, we've actually personally helped all those people move, all the people move in, delivered the job, and still people want to work with us because we're doing it. It's like, Christ, it's like, how's that happen? But that's a really cool feeling. And then you go on to hunting down the next million, don't you? So,
yeah, of course you do. Yeah, because that's the ambition that comes from, the scalability of being self-employed, having your own business, and becoming ambitious, achieving a milestone, and then on to the next. That's a big part of it. But yeah, that 2 comma club million, in under 2.5 years. Still, I talk to agents out there that are with other self-employed models or employed or business owners, and it still blows their mind. It's phenomenal. On money, what's the sort of long-term plan in terms of, for Dan as a personal business owner, what's the long-term plan financially, not just in the business, but for you as an individual? What's kind of your 10-year goal?
Joe, it's really good timing because I was actually with my financial advisor yesterday going through these bits. So, and this is how much my world has changed, because 4.5 years ago, I was struggling to pay my mortgage, really. And I had credit card debt trying to, get along and buy clothes,
keep afloat,
or whatever. Yeah. Where now I'm sat with my financial advisor I've been speaking to now for a year, and I'm doing personal investments. I've got pots of money which I'm investing in, financially in a much better place. I fully own my own home now, things like this. So that's changed so much. And to be honest with you, for the next 10 years, personally, it's all about myself and Neil have done a lot with pensions recently. So we're really trying to grow our pensions. We never did one before. So that's massive for us because we want to be in a comfortable position when we get to that.
Yeah, tax efficient as well.
Tax efficient.
As I'm sure he said to you.
Yeah, very tax efficient. So we're doing really well with the pensions now. I'm doing stocks and shares, personal investments, personal ISAs that are running, and I'd like to get into some sort of property ownership. I don't know if it will be rental properties. I quite like the idea of the Airbnb side of things. In the next 10 years, that's for me, I'd like to get into. But I'd like to be in a position in 10 years' time where I don't have a mortgage.
Yeah,
that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
So I turned 36 in a few days, and I set myself by the time I was 45 to not have a mortgage. And if that's in my current home, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to go for. So I just don't want that overhead, and then I can do other things. So
sounds like a cool 10-year plan.
Yeah, that's my 10-year plan, to be sort of completely debt-free.
Yeah.
And still have the other investments running, and then I think my life will open up to do other things.
It is such a different mindset, because even when I was employed, sort of as an MD, I earned good money, but my whole focus was on month to month, saving a bit of money, going up on the ladder, doing a refinance here and there, car finance, holidays. But it was, I lived a good life, but my mindset was on what I could afford to buy and what I could do and what I could experience. Whereas what you've just described, you could be describing myself, just at different age points, basically. I want my mortgage paid off by the time I'm 50, which is in about 9 years as well, funnily enough. And managing to put some money into different pots here and there. It's just things that you couldn't do unless you were earning dividends, really.
I could never have even had those thoughts. Like the discussions I'm having, and also like just personal research into everything that I enjoy doing, learning about actually how money works and what you can do with it and how you can save it. It wasn't even a pipe dream, because I wouldn't even bother to think about it, because it was something that I could never have done.
Yeah.
Like, literally, now I'm trying to work out all these different options, what I can do with stuff and try and plan for the future. So it's a really cool place to be.
Yeah. When you get it right, it works. That's the message from what people need to take from that last 90 seconds. When you get it right, it works. Yeah. What advice would you give to kind of any agents that are thinking about becoming an Avocado partner that are out there? We get a lot of people watch these videos. A lot of people have mentioned to me. A lot of the agents in Avocado watch them and really enjoy them as well. But what advice would you give to someone that's sat on the fence or thinking, right, in 18 months' time, in 9 months' time, I'm going to move from my branch manager role, area manager role, valuer role, and I want to do that. I want to be like some of these agents that have been sat here doing this kind of episode with me.
A couple of bits of advice. Do something that I did. Look in the company you're in. Look at the people around you. How long have they been there? Are they? Is somebody coming up to retirement age running an office branch? Do you want to be that person in 15 years' time still there? Because I didn't. So ask yourself,
visualize that.
Visualize where you're going to be. Are you still going to be in your office or in an area manager doing a couple of branches, running around in a suit and tie into your late 50s? Or do you want to have an option to be free financially, time, managing how you want to do things and going for that opportunity. Because what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out for you.
Because both are hard work. It's not like it's easy. It's both are hard work, but where do you want your energy and hard work to go?
Exactly that. Both are hard work, but you're going to get so much more out of doing it this way. And the other bit of advice I give as well, if people are watching this, pick up the phone to me. Like literally, my number is pretty much everywhere. You can find it. Just drop us a text and be like, I saw your episode. Can I pick your brains? And I'm more than happy to talk to people about it. And just be honest. Tell them that it's not easy, it's hard work, but it's well worth doing it.
Yeah, 100%. It's a great tip for people, to speak to someone like Dan that's now done multiple years of being self-employed. They hit that 2 Comma Club, £1 million between the two of them, in 2.5 years, gunning down that second million now. Got some great referral setups, pockets of money going into different places, investing, using their business really wisely, and ask about, the good and the bad things. But I think there's probably not many people in the country that are better to speak to than the likes of yourself if you're visualising yourself in that same situation. So, yeah, I'll say congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done, mate, because it's always inspiring when I sit here and listen to your story myself. Even though I know it, I'm still gives me goosebumps thinking, wow, these guys have done so well. So speak to Dan. Thank you for watching. I'm back next week with another partner and hope you're enjoying the season so far.